Our third speaker for the evening, giving a volunteered at the last minute, and we're tickled to death that she did. It's a non-manual speech, I'm told. She's following after Roger. Her speech is entitled, Life Lessons from Avatar, The Last Airbender. Life Lessons from Avatar, The Last Airbender, Khamphoy Sayavong.
Well, what do I know? What I do know is that life lessons can come from different places. And one of my deepest life lessons occurred about 3 years ago. And I was sitting on the couch reading my book while my son was watching TV. And it was a marathon of this cartoon that just kept going and going and going. And as I was reading my book, sitting next to him, I didn't pay attention to it until I stopped, closed my book, and looked up. And as I tuned into the show, Avatar, The Last Airbender, I realized, maybe there's something to be made with this bald-headed kid that's just flying around for no reason. And what I realized was that life lessons can come from many different sources in many different ways that we may not realize, but all that requires is an open heart and an open mind. The lessons that I had learned from Avatar as I was sucked into that one show, which is a 30-minute show, I realized there were a few elements that I had learned from the show. The first was play to your strengths. Now, the premise of the story really is about Aang, the last airbender, and his life, the selection of different bending, airbending, water bending, earth bending, and fire bending. The selection process of that is very loosely based off of the Dalai Lama's life in terms of his selection of how he was selected to be the Dalai Lama. That's the premise of his story, Aang. At that time, the world was just taken over by the Fire Nation. So there's a Fire Lord, and the world was just taken over by the Fire Nation. The Fire Lord killed off the airbenders, the waterbenders, and the earthbenders. So the world is dominated by the Fire Nation. And Aang, the Avatar, is sent. The last remaining airbender and an Avatar was sent to save the world. Play to your strengths. Now, within his team, there was Toph, who was a earthbender, Katara, who is the waterbender, and Zuko, who is a firebender. And they had to all play to their own strengths to band together to beat the Fire Lord. Without each of their strengths, Aang cannot beat the Fire Lord on his own, although his job is to master all four elements. The Avatar is the only person that can master all four elements. And so what I learned was each person plays a part and plays a role in the destiny that was chosen for them and playing to their strengths. I realized through Gallup's assessment, my top 5 strengths are adaptability, arranger, activator, input, and woo. Given that in all of my life, I had never lived more than an hour's drive from my family in the Bay Area, the fact that I packed up my bags and brought my son to Austin, I realized I had to play to all my 5 strengths. Adaptability, the ability to just pack up and come to a foreign country called Austin, Texas. Believe me, it's a foreign country. And then a ranger, the ability where I remove myself from my social support, my daycare, my built-in free daycare for my family, and I was able to arrange my life in a way where I never have to leave Palmer Lane. I live on Palmer Lane and 620, and work is 10 minutes this way. His school is 5 minutes this way. Our Lifetime Gym, which is our second lifeline, second home away from home, is right across the street from us. Gymnastics, sports event, you name it. The Domain, I never have to leave Palmer Lane. And I'm able to live my life as a professional, build myself as a speaker, and work, and be a single mother. Activator. Once I make a decision, I have to go. I have to put it in action. So once I've found a way to arrange my life the way it is, the way that I need to, I activate and I make it happen. Input. Collecting data. Input, people love to collect data. How I picked the apartment that I decided to live in is I researched all the top schools in Austin. And then I picked the apartment complexes that fed to that school in Austin so that my son can go to one of the top schools in Austin. And I picked living at the ranch, and he'll be going to Patsy Summer, which is a very well-respected school in Austin. And woo, win others over. I get energy from people. I can walk into a room full of strangers and work a room and win them over. That's what WOO stands for. I tapped into that while making new friends and finding a Toastmaster club, and I'm so glad that you guys took me in. Play to your strengths. Those were my 5 strengths that I learned to play to. Second lesson that I learned was at points in our lives, we need mentors or teachers to help us, whether professionally or personally, if you're going through some of life's obstacles. And at that time, one of the reasons why I moved to Austin was I had just separated from my husband, and it was a lot of chaos in my life. And I realized Aang had a teacher for every single of those elements. Taught him how to earthbend. Katara taught him how to waterbend. And Zuko taught him how to bend fire. And I realized, I need a teacher to show me the way. Because if I'm trying to overcome an obstacle in my life or elevate myself professionally, I need a teacher somewhere. I need a mentor. And I realized, then I started looking for a teacher and a mentor. Every Toastmasters function, every work functions, I'm always on the lookout, my radar. Who can be my mentor? Who can be my teacher? Who can I ask? And I learned to do that. And luckily enough, I did find a mentor, and we'll just by way call him Mr. Rogers, who helped me to guide me in my way. And here's why mentors and teachers are important in your life. There's 3 reasons. One is they hold you accountable. They hold you accountable to your dreams, your goals, whatever it is that you want to reach. They hold you accountable. And then they call you on your you-know-what when you take a step back from yourself or when you're not feeling like you can achieve, they're there to push you. The second reason why having a mentor or teacher is important in life is that they're there to help you see the progress that you can't see. Sometimes I'm so wrapped up in checking off my list and the boxes that I need to check off that I don't take the time to celebrate. I don't take the time to acknowledge how far I've come in terms of the obstacles that I've overcome. They're there to help you recognize, hey, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you need to celebrate. And the third reason why a teacher or mentor is important is they help you see your potential that you don't even see yourself. They see that light in you. They see that spark in you. And they see that you need to stay true to that light and that spark, whatever that is. Aang is able to call upon previous avatars through meditation. Those are his mentors and teachers, along with his current team of waterbenders, firebenders, and earthbenders. But through meditation, he's able to call upon the previous avatars that have gone through struggles and wars and overcome them. And they're there to help teach him get through. The third lesson that I learned from watching Avatar is this serendipitous, big unknown called destiny. Zuko, the firebender, is actually the son of the Fire Lord. He was banished by his father because his father challenged him to a duel and he lost. And his dad was very angry and ashamed of his son because he wasn't strong enough to take on his father. So he banished Zuko. And for the first two books, Water and Earth, Zuko's mission and purpose was to chase down the Avatar, catch the Avatar so that he can return him to his father to restore his honor and earn back his dad's respect. So for 75% of the series, Zuko's mission was to chase down the Avatar and capture him. His serendipitous destiny actually turned out that he realized it was in that journey that his part in it was to restore balance back into the earth, even though he's a firebender. And so what he did was he joined the Avatar team, and he became Aang's teacher to teach him firebending so that he can perfect firebending to beat his own father. Destiny for me, I have lots of people who ask me, why did you move to Austin? Bay Area is a beautiful place. You've never left home. You can't leave your family. You just don't do that. I don't know why I'm here, but what I do know is that when I was sent here to interview for the position here in Austin, for the HR position, I was looking for those voices to say, don't come here, this is a backwards place. I was looking for those voices. Where are they? As I was driving. And I love to drive in adaptability, one that can go with the flow. I was just that 2-day in Austin, I was driving end to end. I knew Mopac, I knew 360, I knew 183. By 2 days, I already knew because I love getting lost. And at the same time, I was looking for those voices to say, don't come here. Austin's not the place for you. You belong with your family. You belong back home. And all I found was just complete silence and peace. And I realized, I guess I'm supposed to be here. I don't know what my destiny is for me, but I hope that it is one of, like Zuko's, where it will make a full circle. Because I am deeply, deeply dedicated to my family. And if you ask all my friends, they will know the first thing to say about Khamphoy is, oh yeah, she's attached to the umbilical cord. She loves her family. But what I do know as well is that I'm not befuddled with who I am right now in the space that I'm in, because I'm able to juggle all the pieces in my life and be able to live in peace and acceptance. So what do I know? I know that life's lesson come from many, many different avenues. For me, it was a simple little cartoon. But I realized if I kept an open mind and an open heart, lessons can come from many different places. Then what I also know is play to your strength. You have that strength. And for the new officers that are incoming, you all have a strength. And you build that energy, that culture in this club. So in this new year term, play to your strength. Be you. Bring your spark. Bring your light. And that's what's going to help sustain our club. And the last thing is, destiny is a funny thing. we want to control our lives and think we can navigate it a certain way and it's a series of checklists, in the end, we really don't know what's going to happen. But what I do know is it always, always works out for the best.